It's a somewhat cool and occasionally very wet Sunday morning here in the latter part of January. This is Lowdham, and this behind me is Lowdham Churchyard, with a lovely church just tucked in behind those trees there. Lots of old yews here, and some even almost equally old sycamores against the car park. So nice collection of trees, and there are snowdrops galore here at the top part of the older part of the cemetery. I'm here because yesterday Nick and Samantha Brownlee came for a wander around here and turned up numerous little goodies, some of which were caterpillars of the Scarlet Tiger moth. I believe they found 6 or 7 located somewhere just up there, mainly around the workman's shed. That's why I'm here. Silly thing to do. It was sunny yesterday and drier than it is now. But I'm going to see whether I can find one of these caterpillars. Well, I know I was tipped off that these caterpillars were here. I wasn't tipped off that they were on the actual church. There's one here, some 2 foot off the ground, and again 2 foot off the ground, there's another one here. Both resting completely openly on the northern side of Lowdham Church. I couldn't believe it when I first found them. I really couldn't, and I was looking on these walls for Psychidae moth larvae and also bristly millipede, of which there's no sign of either. And I happened to glance down and I noticed this caterpillar here, and then I noticed that one. Both at the same height. There doesn't appear to be any more on this section of wall, and they're both on the sheltered. This never gets any sunlight, not even in summer, and certainly in winter this is going to be the coldest part of Lowdham Church, and yet here they are. I never expected Scarlet Tiger caterpillars to be sat openly on the wall. You never stop learning in this game, no matter how many years you've done it. Here's the first of those 2 caterpillars, resting completely openly. The wall isn't terrifically cold, actually. I would have expected the wall to have been a lot colder than it is. We've not had any frost for a while. It's just been completely grey, gloomy and overcast, and the temperature on the way here was about 5.5 centigrade. So this wall is probably going to be about 4 degrees centigrade, and it's enough to keep these caterpillars inactive. But you wouldn't have expected to have seen these out openly. At least I wouldn't have done. Yet here's 2. And they are beautiful caterpillars too. Generally nice, beautiful velvet black, some hairs on the caterpillar, some longer hairs. Dorsally down the back of the caterpillar is that beautiful sort of orangey yellow series of sort of markings, quite beautiful. And on the sides there are numerous sort of white dots laterally down either side, quite beautiful things, and as they get older they get more impressive too. And of course the adult moth is equally as impressive as the caterpillar. Well, here's a second of the two caterpillars that are found on the wall here, the northern wall of Lowdham Church. I didn't think on the way here, especially as it was raining for part of the journey down here, that I would be successful. I knew roughly the area that Nick and Sam had found them. I've yet to have a look around that shed area actually. And here we are. So surprising all around. It certainly surprised me to find them in the first place, and to find them in a situation like this. We're just entering the 4th week of January, and you wouldn't expect to see these here. And amazingly, here's two more. Again, the upper one of these two is probably just over 2 feet off the ground, and then there's that second one at the bottom of the screen, and there is a third one that you can see which is under a bit of an overhang. So that's 5 on the church, just openly sat on the stonework. I'm quite astounded at this. Never would have thought it. And yet another on the right of the screen. Just here, look. But if we have a look in the background there are 2 more. Just here. And I can see yet another. Well, the count goes on. Just can't believe it. There's another 2 here, one just tucked in the corner of the brickwork there, and one here. And I can tell you that the other side of this stonework there are more, and they're all at this height, just some just underneath this lip in the stonework. It's just shocked me. And here's another 2 just around the corner from where I was last showing you those larvae, all pretty much this size. And there's another Scarlet Tiger caterpillar just about 3 feet to the left of these 2. They are little beauties, especially in the second half of January. And if you want to know the actual size of these caterpillars, they are about 15 to 17 millimeters or so. Some maybe just a touch larger. And this one has just moved a little. But with the day being cool today, they won't be going very far. Move around a little bit further, and I'm still on the northern side of Lowdham Church here, and there are 7 in this little section, 6 of which I can show you here. 1, 2 there, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 7th is behind me. I am dumbfounded. I didn't expect to be counting Scarlet Tiger caterpillars in the last week of January. Well, I've gone around the whole church and virtually 99% of the caterpillars are on the sheltered and shaded northern sides of the church in various sort of alcoves, as it were. This one is the only one on the eastern side, and there appears to be none at all on the southern side, so they're obviously preferring shadier conditions. And this is probably the largest of the ones that I've seen today, and this is certainly a good 20 millimeters or so, probably just larger than that, maybe about 25 millimeters. A beautiful example of the caterpillar, and with evidence of recent feeding coming out its back end. The back end is this one, if you wasn't sure. But what a visit this has been. It was a rotten, lousy morning, weather-wise, but these have certainly warmed me up. I know I've said surprising or surprised or words to that effect a lot during this video, and here's another one, but I am surprised to be here today. It was raining for much of the morning. It's rained on and off all night, and we've had a lot of rain too, and the forecast is for showers during the course of today. And I thought it's not worth going anywhere today, and I nearly didn't go anywhere. But I did. I had to drive down the 20 miles or so from home to the village of Lowdham here, in the hope of finding some caterpillars that Nick and Samantha Brownlee had found yesterday. Yesterday, as I mentioned, was sunnier, a bit breezy, but sunnier and dry, and today is entirely the opposite, although it is still breezy in parts. But I never dreamt that I would be successful in my quest, even though I knew roughly where to look to find caterpillars of Scarlet Tiger. And I've ended up finding 19 caterpillars on the walls of the church. I had one on the shed wall, on the shed door, and 19 on the walls of Lowdham Church here. 18 of those 19 have been on this northerly side, one just around the corner on the eastern side. I didn't think that I'd be counting Scarlet Tiger caterpillars in the last week of January. You live and learn in this game, and I've certainly learnt something today.